Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Clearing with Claire weekly webinar every Wednesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. And this is where I share my favorite tools for creating change in your life, creating your own reality, creating your desires, and having better health, well-being, and more bliss. Today, we have an amazing guest who's going to talk to us about digestion, elimination, detoxification, all the good stuff, and her name is Joyce Rockwood. Welcome, Joyce.
Hello, how are you?
I'm doing great. I can't tell you, just ever since we set this up, I've just been obsessed with hearing what you have to say and everything. I'm like, I need to ask Joyce about that. So I'm really excited, and I just want to tell our listeners a little bit more about you before we dive in. Joyce Rockwood, C.C.H, is a certified colon hydrotherapist, a doTERRA Essential Oils wellness advocate, and holistic lifestyle teacher who's dedicated to presenting a proactive approach to living a life of vitality and using natural solutions for overcoming chronic illness. In the fall of 2014, Kimberly Helms and Jared Stein, the founders of The Springs in Los Angeles, which is amazing if you're in LA, gotta check it out. So they personally selected Joyce to assume the role of Director of Colon Hydrotherapy for their wellness center. Previously, Joyce was the co-founder of LYT, that stands for Love Your Transformation, and that is one of New York City's premier holistic treatment centers. Eating vegan and mainly raw food diet since 1996, she passionately believes that a plant-based diet in tandem with colon hydrotherapy has the ability to heal and drastically improve our quality of life by balancing our emotions and cultivating a harmonious spirit, all necessary components for impacting our longevity. And now with the addition of CPTG Essential Oils from doTERRA, Joyce says, I, along with my clients, am over the moon with the miraculous health results that these oils are providing and the powerful tools they have become when used on a daily basis. Joyce has been featured in Well and Good, Goop, Refinery 29, Hoopla, as well as many other well-known publications. Currently residing in Los Angeles, she sees clients individually, as well as hosts various group lectures and workshops to a variety of business and corporate groups to assist them in becoming independently healthy. Since 1997, Joyce has guided thousands of people who now lead more dynamic, productive, and healthy lives. Her passion is rooted in helping others to discover their greatest health potential and living a joyous, abundant life.
Woohoo! That's a mouthful.
That's a mouthful, but you know, when I read this, I just was like, wow, you've accomplished so much and such awesome things that I didn't want to leave anything out.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you again for being with us. So I just want to start out by asking, for those who are new to this, or even those who might have heard of it, what is a colonic, or also known as colon hydrotherapy?
Sure. So colon hydrotherapy, we also hear of that referred to as a colonic. High colonics are also an old sort of fashioned way of saying it, but basically a colonic, a bath for your colon. And so we're literally assisting the body in alleviating matter that hasn't left organically. And you can really liken this therapy much to a lot of the other things that we do hygienically to take care of ourselves. It's really no different than the way in which we care for our oral hygiene by brushing our teeth, by shampooing our hair, by bathing our bodies externally. The colon is an organ that is not self-cleaning like most of us would love to think and believe.
Yes. I've always labored under that illusion.
Come to one of the sessions that I administer and, take a peek. It's a profound experience for a lot of people. Because a lot of people who are even having 2 and 3 movements a day, I just saw someone yesterday, a young gentleman, 26 years old. I'm coming because my girlfriend said I feel really good. He had a huge treatment. He was just like, what is coming out of me? So, whether you're really young and you think that there's really, nothing necessarily specifically wrong, or you don't have any particular complaints, there's always a place to go. Or if you do have ailments and pains and, things going on that are dampening your spirit, that are physically sort of like slowing you down, colonic is one of the easiest ways to start elevating your vitality and raising the alkalinity of your body and your blood by getting poisonous matter out of the wastebasket. We're taking out the garbage.
Yeah. Yeah, that's fascinating to know that even if you're having a movement 3 times a day, it may not, you still might need a bath in there.
Yeah.
Well, so I think you kind of touched on some right there, but in your experience, what are some of the other biggest misconceptions that people have about colonics?
Yeah, a lot of people, they have a lot of fears wrapped up into actually booking an appointment, right? It's like, I want to do this.
And it can be a little,
I'm not sure what's going to happen, number one.
Yeah, like there's a lot of trust there.
Because, sometimes the myth is like wrapped up in our belief systems of what we're hearing from other people, or what we're just assuming because we don't know. So, a lot of people think it's more dramatic, or I should say more traumatic than it is. It's actually it's water therapy. We're rolling water in and out of the body simultaneously. It's a closed system. There's one tube feeding the water into the body, and there's another tube carrying the water, waste, and gas out of the body. It's a very therapeutic and actually a very relaxing therapy, ideally. If someone has a lot of impaction, a lot of gas, then the treatments can sometimes be a bit uncomfortable. So we, of course, want to work really well with people like that and help them with their diet before coming in, because the more alkaline or clean or plant-based the diet is, the easier the treatments are going to be. Mm-hmm. So I would say the first myth is like, oh my God, it's going to be really painful. Mm-hmm. So it's not going to be really painful if you can set it up properly. And that's one of the things I'm really passionate about, is helping people, no matter where they are with their diet. Don't have to be a raw food vegan to get a colonic. You just want, of course, start including some better food combination choices, which we support you with and supply you with before coming in. Mm-hmm. We reduce the burden in the intestine. We reduce the gas pressure buildup. We reduce a lot of the impaction. And then the treatment can flow, right? So I would say that would be the first myth to bust open, is that it's going to be
so you usually do you have kind of like a mini consult with people before they come in to see you?
Sometimes I do, if they have a number of questions, or if they have a big health history, maybe they've had surgery and things like that, we might need to troubleshoot some things. Mm-hmm. But the website at thespringsla.com is, if you click on the wellness tab there and you scroll down to the colon hydrotherapy description, you'll actually get a PDF for free, where you can just follow some easy, basic dietary instructions or suggestions before coming in. Oh, cool. I can't speak to every single client before coming in, but I do also offer wellness consults for people, lifestyle and nutritional consultations that last about an hour, sometimes follow-ups just 30 minutes, for those who are looking for more specific information or need more support outside of a therapeutic treatment. Mm-hmm. So they'll get that support that way. My website, joycerockwood.com, also has that same preparation guideline information for people.
Okay, great. Okay, so beyond people thinking that it might be painful, what else do you find that myths that you like to dispel for people?
Yes, this is another big one. The colonic is going to wash away all my healthy, friendly flora, all my healthy bacteria. That's a really common question and a common belief. Mm-hmm. No more than sweating intensely during your Bikram yoga session, or doing cross training and sweating profusely and losing electrolytes. Are you going to experience that we're washing away the healthy flora?
Wow, that's fascinating, because I would think you're washing things out that might take some good stuff along with it that we need in there.
It's a very common thought. So I help people understand that most people who are so worried about the healthy flora is those people are actually lacking most of the healthy flora that they really need. And so through proper eating, through proper cleansing, we are actually going to help reestablish and repopulate the healthy flora in the gut. There's nothing better to help repopulate healthy flora than getting waste and crap out of the tissue.
Right. giving it a nice home.
Yeah, and when you drink a veggie juice after you've had a colonic, guess what happens? You repopulate the healthy flora. So do a workout and you sweat profusely, you lose electrolytes.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the bathroom and you urinate, you lose electrolytes. No one worries that they're urinating too much because losing electrolytes. Oh my God.
I better hold it.
No one worries in a workout that, they're sweating too much because, oh my God, I might be losing too many electrolytes, and we just want to place back in. I can liken it to that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that would be the second myth I love busting. People can also take probiotics if they're concerned about the populace of healthy flora in the gut.
Yeah.
The third one, I would say a lot of people feel like, oh, am I going to get addicted to getting colonics? Is my body going to become reliant on getting these treatments to go to the bathroom?
Yeah, like, is my colon going to get lazy now?
It's a common one, right? So I say a couple things to that. First would be, do you ever go to the gym and work out on a treadmill and worry that your heart is going to become too dependent on the treadmill? No. We elevate our body's efficiency by making the heart a muscle stronger.
Mm-hmm.
So same thing with the colon. When we alleviate poisons and the burden and impaction from the colon, which is a big muscle, guess what happens to the colon? Becomes more efficient, and it becomes more productive, which means you'll have more bowel movements. I've got a woman texting me now. She's like, my day's getting interrupted by my frequency to the bathroom. And not because it's diarrhea. She's having health movements, and she's like, wow, things are really moving. This is kind of crazy.
Right.
So no, we won't become addicted, and most people who are getting treatments are not having regular movements anyway, so this is not going to make them addicted to something that they're not, that they're in a way that they're in an area where they're not performing properly in the first place.
Right.
And I always say, send me a self-addressed stamped envelope and I'll send you my eliminations for a day, and I've been getting colonics for over 20 years and I'm not addicted and I have healthy movements. Spoken like a true lady.
Right. The proof is there.
So I would say those are the top three, Am I going to be addicted? Will they wash away all the healthy flora? And will they be painful? So hopefully
something I'm wondering, how would you say that a colonic compares to using a laxative? If you think I'm going to clean things out some.
Yeah. So laxatives are actually dangerous. I don't recommend them. They destroy the lining, and they do make the intestine kind of lazy because they're very purgative. And so we can elevate our bodies.
What does purgative mean? What is it doing?
It's aggressive, like purge, right? It's something that kind of comes in an immediate way and a sort of a fast sort of emergency kind of antidote.
It forces the action.
Yeah. A suppository would be a better choice.
Okay.
I know I've worked with people who've been addicted to laxatives for years, and their bowels are really damaged. Their colon's very damaged.
Yeah.
But there are ways we can elevate our diet to get our bowels to work better. Versus using laxatives, so eating more salads before cooked food is one of the easiest ways to do that. Putting in foods that are more electromagnetically charged, that are not deadened so much by heat, is one of the ways we create motion in the body.
Really? Wait, can you talk a little bit more about that? I don't know what you mean. Do you mean that raw foods have a different electromagnetic charge to them?
Yeah. Absolutely. Right. So when we're looking to elevate the alkalinity of the body and elevate the body's ability to eliminate, period, we want to put foods in that have life force energy. So sometimes going out in the sun is a great way to get life force energy because, there's photosynthesis happening. So our cells are getting energy and power that way, and oxygen, just like plants do. And so the other way we can create motion and energy in the body is by putting in foods that are live, that are allowing our bodies to elevate oxygen content. We're oxygen beings. We thrive on oxygen. Someone said to you, how long can you go without breathing versus how long can you go without eating a meal? to go a lot longer without eating a meal, even though we probably don't want to.
Yeah, definitely a don't want to factor.
People don't want to. But, oxygen is what sustains us. So what if we could create a diet or elevate the diet we have such that we're promoting more oxygen-rich flow to the cells? Our cells are getting more oxygen. Guess what? We're more alive. I'm more energetic and more, alive now than I was 20 years ago before I got into this work. And more, capable of saying that I never get sick. And I feel amazing every day, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, and mentally. And so how we elevate the alkalinity of the body through these oxygen-rich foods is by putting in the foods that haven't been heated so much, such that that electromagnetic charge is kind of covered and pulled away. Salads, green and leafy foods, and raw veggies, grated carrots, cucumbers, celery, spinach, kale, romaine lettuce, my favorite. These are the foods that are going to create oxygen flow and enrich the body with energy. And the more of that kind of stuff we eat over time, the more energy and flow we will feel. And okay, it's a process, it's a transition. It doesn't mean someone should become a radical raw food vegan overnight. Just no different than we take a 3-year-old, we put them on a tricycle, then a 2-wheeler with training wheels, then we pull the training wheels off, and etc. We have to transition our body from where we are at and are acknowledging our history to going. And we do it in cycles and with transition, with love and grace, honoring where we've come from.
Wow. Okay. So that gives me 2 more questions.
That gives you a...
2 more questions.
Okay, ready.
I heard you mention eating the raw foods before cooked foods.
Right.
Do you want to bookmark that and wait for a minute till we get into the food combining?
Yeah.
Because I personally and other people I know feel like raw foods are harder to digest for them. Is that something that we can help as we consciously transition into eating more of them, getting a colonic health with that?
Yes. And for people who have a tough time with raw foods, it's a sign that the body probably needs some more transition. And maybe we want to eat smaller amounts of raw food in the beginning. The body is getting that raw food, and it's like medicine.
Oh, wow.
It's loosening up demons in the tissue. And if it makes you feel uncomfortable, then we know that it's probably loosening up too much too quick that you're not managing to eliminate. And that's when we listen to our body and say, okay, well, what's happening here?
Okay.
We would lessen the volume of the raw food in that case, and maybe just have a leaf or 2 of romaine lettuce, or a stalk of celery, or half of a cucumber, or...
Wow, you can start that small?
Half a cup of grated carrots, small amount.
Okay.
And then we shift, and we can bring in more as we go. But trust me, the raw food is not causing the problem. It was the childhood Twinkies and Snicker bars and, fried chicken that was. Because I hate that stuff too.
Wait a minute. How did you know that I ate a Snickers for lunch every day in high school?
French fries, whatever it was, chocolate chip cookies.
Get out of my head, Joyce.
Part of your intuition goes up when you eat a lot of raw food.
Yes, I see that. Okay, so let's get into that. So what are some more of the suggestions that you share with clients so they can experience the best results from their colon hydrotherapy treatments with you?
Sure. The number one thing that you can do to really just start opening things up and softening the cement and turning it into silly putty, as I like to say, is to start having vegetable juices, fresh pressed vegetable juices, not like V8, but I mean fresh pressed stuff that we're getting at a juice bar we're making in our home. Because when you get the liquid extracted from the produce, you have got right there Earth's medicine. It doesn't mean that the fiber doesn't have a point in case at some point in the day we will eat. I'm not telling people to become, liquidarians overnight, but we're adding a juice to what we're currently doing. So we wake up in the morning, we have a veggie juice, and it starts to really soften that impacted matter in the body, and it also elevates that oxygen content. We're always talking about elevating oxygen. So we have a juice, green juices especially, really elevate the hemoglobin in our blood, and the hemoglobin, guess what it does? It carries oxygen to our cells.
Yes.
So, more hemoglobin in the blood, more oxygen-rich like energy to the cells. Clients come in all the time after like a week away or 2 weeks away after their first or second treatment, and they're like, I can't believe this. I'm craving salads, and I don't even want my coffee. I'm having these juices. They're so yummy.
Wow.
It'll transform your eating habits and transform your palate, and it'll make you realize like you're not going to miss the things that were making you sick. People get anxious in the beginning. They're like, my coffee. I'm like, have your coffee. Have your juice first. So we're adding good things to the mix. We slowly allow the process to let us know when we no longer want the stuff that's not serving us. So juicing is one of the easiest ways to elevate your body's vitality.
Oh yeah, that sounds really good, because it's funny because I've had periods of eating really clean where I felt really great, but I just, once I didn't have the symptoms or whatever was driving me into eating really healthy, then I was just like, I can eat whatever I want. And so thinking about, it's a very emotional thing, for a lot of us, eating has a lot more emotion attached to it than it needs to. But those cravings often come from this desire literally for comfort. Like we think of comfort food, or seeking sweetness or comfort from some, sugar or simple carbs.
Yes. And you know what you'll start to find is that there are going to be other foods that serve you emotionally and physically and mentally and spiritually in a greater capacity that you'll love even more than the things you think you're going to miss that you're eating now.
Wow. That sounds great. Sign me up. I'm going to break out my juicer again.
Yeah, and that's what it does too. Like the juicing really does help your food cravings, and it changes the dynamics of your palate. So, you don't have to worry about what you can't eat. Your body will let you know when it no longer wants those things.
That's awesome. Okay, so I want to hear, I've tried out food combining before too, and it's funny because I have this voice in my head going, telling people when I was using food combining principles, like, it's really made a difference in my digestion. I really feel great. But I just kind of, I got lazy with it. I was just like, chicken breast tastes good.
French fries, you said French fries taste good?
Yeah.
Well, French fries are fine unto themselves. It's when we dip them in ketchup they become tricky.
What about dipping them in?
I don't mean fine, like everyone should be living on French fries. I mean, it's not like, you can never have a French fry the rest of your life. But when you take starchy foods and mix them with acidic foods, that's where the tragedy happens.
So I love to know more about this.
Yeah. So really, food combining philosophy, the food combining principles I share with my clients, the whole concept there is really just about teaching people how to properly pair their foods for optimum digestion, which in turn yields really wonderful poops. To be really blunt, it's like proper combinations of foods yields a great elimination of crap. Mm-hmm. So what we're doing when we're eating meals always is we're thinking like quick exit. Can I enjoy quick exit foods? We want to elevate the quality of foods we're eating, and those are typically the quick exit foods. The ones that are not serving us are the ones that kind of lay around, and that's why we feel awful after we eat that, because they go in there and they stick like glue, and then they make us feel gassy, bloated, and they, kind of dampen our spirit. Mm-hmm. So we're literally just learning how to properly pair different food groups so that there's less gas and bloating, there's less indigestion. The foods can leave the stomach in a certain amount of hours, not be belabored there, and not kind of create like a beer factory, and leave our bodies in an efficient way. So, fruit eaten alone is a very big one. That's a popular one. If you go back to this book, Fit for Life, from like the 80s, it's all information shared there. But it goes back even further. When man was roaming the earth, early days in his loincloth, I think he was probably going through the jungle and being like, cool, a mango, mango, mango. Walking further in his foraging and be like, cool, a coconut, I'd grab a coconut. Oh, awesome, avocados. And so our diet, I think, was more simplistic. Mm-hmm. And, we were not dealing with, all these amazing shows on TV. They're fun to watch, but sauces and conglomerates and melting this and sticking that on fire. like, it's fun. But, you know, most people are walking around feeling really ill.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to simplify it.
Mm-hmm.
We're literally just putting those foods together that work with it most compatibly.
Mm-hmm.
There's a food combining chart on my website, and so people can download that if they like.
I'll be doing that.
It'll point out the favorable combinations, and there's a second page that also gives some really great tips on like breakfast, lunch, dinner setup, and some other suggestions.
Okay, fabulous. Well, what else do you like to suggest to your clients?
Well, I mean, we can get into the oils soon. I kind of want to go there now. I'm like, But, you know, breathing is important. I know it sounds silly, but I actually meet a lot of people who are like short in their breath. And even during a colonic, I get them to just start out by taking some long, straightforward, very conscientious inhalations through the nose and out through the mouth. And literally like forcing stale air and energy out of the body is an amazing way to kind of resuscitate our spirit. Mm-hmm. That's definitely one thing. You know, mental outlook, like really being willing to accept change for yourself and know that you deserve something better and something better, and that you're willing to put some energy and effort into doing that for yourself for the greater good. I've always told people, you know, when they say, making a juice, I don't want to clean the juicer. I'm like, I've never looked at it as an opportunity to do something well and good for my body as a burden. I'm like, you know, a lot of people wish they could afford a juicer, and you've got one in your house. You just need to kind of go over there and hug it and kiss it, dust it off, and then, like, you know, make yourself a juice. You know, if you pick the right things and you do it often enough, you should be able to make your juice and clean the juicer literally in under 10 minutes. I know people are taking an hour to make a juice. Well, if it took me an hour to make my breakfast, I wouldn't make it either.
Yeah.
So, you know, get efficient with your practices, and look at taking care of yourself as an opportunity, not as a burden. Mm-hmm. And then, of course, let's talk about the oils.
Let's talk about oils. Yes. Yeah. How do you find that oils pair with digestion and elimination, and what have you found most helpful?
I love working with these essential oils because, you know, they've become such a powerful tool, and like literally at this point, like a necessary tool. I don't even want to go to work without my oils in my bag, let alone go into a colonic session with a client without oils, because I feel like I've left out a special treat that's also going to really serve them and make the process a little bit more comfortable if they're having an uncomfortable session, or just get them to relax their nerves if they're coming in for the first time and they're just a little anxious about what to expect. So I use the oils when we first start, before I even like leave the room and give them an opportunity to undress. I just give them a sample of maybe some peppermint on the top of their hand, and maybe have them lick it off and get that right into the system, because we know peppermint, not only does it do great things for our mental focus and concentration, but you and I both know that peppermint is really wonderful for digestion and the nervous system. So they get that in there, and for like 2 or 3 minutes they're undressing, and by the time I come back in, now they're in a different place. You know, it's like their aura has shifted even. So I use it that way. I also have my diffuser going in the treatment room. When they first walk in, they're typically going to be like, wow, it smells amazing in here. Mm-hmm. Oils hitting the limbic system and getting their emotions to shift right off the bat is another way of addressing, people's comfort level. And then, of course, using them on the gut during the session, you know,
Topically.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very powerful. You know, I actually find that the oils will seep into the skin. I'll use them on the bottoms of their feet sometimes too. Mm-hmm. And just get it like really creating some motion and moving that gas pressure during session. It's been incredible a very powerful tool for me, and just so useful and easy.
Wonderful. Yeah, I love that. I love using the peppermint for alertness and digestion, and I've also noticed that it helps me both with my kind of like 4 o'clock slump, energy slump that I get, and also I mentioned the kind of emotional cravings. Like I'll have really strong sugar cravings, and I noticed that peppermint oil, just 1 drop of the doTERRA, I look at for my hand, and that really helps just like cut through that craving, which sometimes I don't know if anyone else here experiences that, but it can feel really overwhelming for me. It can feel like I'm going to have to curl up and die if I don't eat that now.
There's someone chiming in, and she's actually finding that peppermint works great for her menopause, and that's Jean.
Oh.
Does Jean want to get on and talk with us a little bit at all? I wonder.
Yeah, let's see. No. Okay. Just wanted to give us a little share. Well, that I'm wondering, Jean is talking about the really cooling sensation that using peppermint oil can give the body. Yeah.
Oops, I didn't mean to screen share. Did I just screen share? No. Okay. Yeah. So she's having she says yes, no, yes, yes. You can use peppermint for anything. I mean, if you find that an oil works for something that it's not necessarily prescribed for, awesome. It just goes to show you that, our chemical makeup is unique and our intuition is strong. And someone else is asking, do you use IR? Let's see what that means. Topically. Yes, you can use peppermint topically, and I use it topically in a variety of ways. So in colon hydrotherapy, I used it mainly along with Digest Zen on the gut, because peppermint in scientific research and testing has been shown to ease discomfort in colonoscopies. Even though I'm not doing a colonoscopy, it's close enough.
Oh.
It reduces the discomfort of a colonoscopy, and it also reduces any discomfort. Someone uses it on the back of their neck and it cools them and it lasts. Yes, absolutely. We'll get into that in a second. So I also use the peppermint, like I was telling earlier, as for people to ingest. I put the drop on the top of their hand. I have them lick it off so they can get it internally right into the system. And then I just tell them to keep smelling inhaling the top, of their hand, because during session, sometimes people get a little nauseous when colon begins to open up.
Right.
They'll feel some nausea, and the acidity starts to kind of get in motion.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't usually last long, but now that they have the peppermint to breathe in, it just quells that kind of in seconds.
Yeah, that's another. It's also great for some stomach upset.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought this was really cool. I just recently learned, you mentioned the Digest Zen, which is a blend that contains peppermint.
Yeah.
And it also has fennel, anise. I think that has some ginger in it. And
I'm holding it. Caraway, coriander, tarragon, and fennel. Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, I learned that not only the physiological property of that oil is assisting with digestion, but the kind of emotional or energetic component, which is another reason I think we both love those oils, because they just work on all levels, is that Digestion can help with feelings of overwhelm. Yes. And it can help you digest experiences you're having. So I would think that would be another one that your clients love as well.
Yeah, that's a great point, Claire. And thanks for making that, because it brings me to another aspect of the profound effects of colon hydrotherapy, which is the emotional component.
Mm-hmm.
And so many people come in for a treatment, and before I even get there, they'll say, wow, I didn't know this was going to be such an emotional experience.
Mm-hmm.
They'll say that sometimes in the middle of a treatment, or sometimes at the end when they've come out of the room and they're really kind of processing.
Do you think that part of that has to do with letting go?
Sure. Letting go. Having now
and emotionally.
Yeah, and feeling liberated and feeling a sense of freedom in your own anatomy. So many people are constipated, and men too. I meet men who are constipated, and sometimes people think having one movement a day is being regular. And when I tell them that if you eat 3 meals a day, you should be having 3 movements plus 1 or 2 on top of that. They're like, what? They're like, oh, that sounds like too much.
Wow.
Yeah. If it was happening and you were feeling amazing from it, you would be really thinking it was not enough. Or just right, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, there is a true value in colon hydrotherapy on all those levels. Emotionally is another one. And, sometimes people do feel such a huge release in their treatments, they actually will cry.
Mm-hmm.
People are holding a lot of primal experiences, and holding back a lot of experiences in their life that they've suppressed, and it gets held in the tissue like that. Emotions. We teach emotional aromatherapy class as wellness advocates, and we've learned that an emotion is literally, the definition of an emotion is a molecule that's carrying information to our cells. So it's a physical thing,
Right.
An emotion. It sounds like
revelation.
It sounds like this fluffy, colorful thing that's floating through the air, maybe
right. All in our imagination or our mind.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's not, right? Like, our emotions are true things, they're true experiences. So colon hydrotherapy can really address that for a lot of people.
That makes me wonder if you use balance oil much in your practice, because I know that one, that is very grounding.
Yeah.
It helps to promote a relaxed feeling, and that is an oil that's also closely associated with the first chakra, which is down there by the root of our spine, where you're dealing with.
And it's like sometimes I'm in a session and I'm like, God, I can't get enough oils on this person. It's like I want to use 7 oils. You can literally place some balance oil right at the tailbone.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes I just will place it on their feet, or let them smell it by placing it on their wrist and letting them see the effect it has on their veins. Let's address Jean. She says she just watched podcasts on the truth about cancer, and they talked about juicing, energy, essential oils, etc., to treat and prevent cancer, sense, chemo, radiation, and surgery. Yeah. So we have to be compliant in our ways and the way we speak about things, but quoting something that is from a podcast or a movie is okay. And yeah, that's an amazing series people should be checking out, because it's all about everything that I do. And it's all about the work that I've been immersed in for the last 20 years. And it's not like I'm the only one doing this and working with people who are reversing these kinds of illnesses. Mm-hmm. But we give a lot of gratitude to people that are doing those kinds of documentaries to assist more of the masses in learning about these really powerful ways that we can take back our own health and not have to, kill ourselves to try and save ourselves.
Yeah.
Which is happening with a lot of modern medicine, and it's sad. It's the reason why you and I both have such a uniform love for the oils. It's like no side effects with proper recommended use.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. Amen. Amen, Jen.
Yeah, I just want to say with that too, like, what you really focus on in your bio and in your work is empowering people. And I think that just feeling empowered itself is healing, because if we feel like, oh my gosh, what's going on in my body? I don't know. I don't understand. Or we are going to specialists, or we're hearing they don't know what's going on. Yeah. You can end up feeling disempowered by that. And that's what I love so much about using the oils, that they're really easy to use. They're affordable. You can have them in your home, and you can carry them with you wherever you go. And in the moment, you feel empowered to shift whatever you're experiencing.
Yes. And sharing, right?
Yeah. Always sharing. Car
and an Uber or something. And just getting out, sometimes one by one, getting the oils to be known about.
Awesome. So what else? I mean, what really are some of the unexpected benefits that your clients talk to you about after receiving treatments with you?
I spoke with a client the other day. She came in for her second treatment, and she said, I really want to tell you, I had no idea what this colonic thing was going to be, and what it was going to, what the results were going to be. I heard good things, and I was kind of curious, but I really had no idea that I was going to expect to find myself being so patient with my children. And it was really obvious to her. Yeah. And it was so beautiful, because I'm like, wow, the fact that she noticed that, number one. Number two, the fact that she is, a parent can feel that she's in a higher place of service to her loved ones was so beautiful to me.
Yeah.
And I just, so it's mood changes, their disposition, the way they react to situations. change. And, you know, we find that with the oils a lot. It's not just colon hydrotherapy for me. Now it's colon hydrotherapy, oils, food combining, juicing. It's all these things coming together. And, you know, emotional balance. You know, we talk about balance oil. It's like emotional balance is a really powerful thing to experience because a lot of people feel like they don't have any say or control over that. Jean is saying, can you get on the subject of the veggie caps for taking the oils, how to fill them, what can or cannot be used in the caps and why? Yes, Jean, we will definitely do that in a moment. Thank you for your wonderful question. It's a great one. So mood change. People become more patient. Sometimes in the middle of colonic, someone will say, or not even say, their behavior changes. I call it like a personality makeover. They can't kind of like closed, right? And all of a sudden in the middle of the treatment, like 20 minutes into the treatment, they're laughing, they're giddy, they're like, oh my God, I feel amazing. What's going on? It's almost like something took over their body. I'm like, well, that you did.
Wow.
You took over.
Wow.
You know, and we could talk about the mood thing because of serotonin. I feel like an hour is not going to be enough, but okay. Serotonin. So everyone thinks serotonin, this very powerful hormone that our body produces, they think it's produced in the brain, but you know, our colon is actually called the second brain, our second brain. And if you look at the colon, it actually kind of looks like the brain looks. It's kind of like wormy, right? It's got all these like sort of curves to it and it wraps around and it's like this long organ, and the brain kind of looks very similar. And serotonin, over 90% of our serotonin is actually produced in our gut.
Yeah.
And the hormone that, you know, regulates body temperature, mood, appetite. Wow, well, let's touch upon those things right there. So if you're alleviating waste matter and acidity and burdensome stuff from your intestine, well, okay, your mood might balance, your appetite might shift, and your body temperature might regulate. Well, that's kind of cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah. And, you know, I'm sure you know some people who are always cold, right? They're like, I'm always cold.
Me. I am always cold.
Lymphatic system, you can start to work that through with colon hydrotherapy. Decreased gas and bloating is another huge perk to getting colonics. Feel like, oh my God, I'm so gassy. Sometimes they're gassy and it's like really stinky gas, and other times people are just gassy and bloated and it's not good. So they'll get that alleviation. Comfortable menstrual cycles. I meet so many women who believe that a menstrual cycle has to be painful, and I'm like, no! It actually should come and go with ease. It should be like you don't even know it came and went. Same thing with PMS and same thing with menopause. It should not be so tragic.
Well, how do colonics help with that?
Because we're getting stuff out of the body that's literally inhibiting bodily functions in other capacities. And your colon is the wastebasket. If the wastebasket is constantly being ignored or is just not being minded enough, it's like garbage in your house. And, you know, it'll be in the kitchen, but eventually, like, the living room starts to smell, and then the bathroom starts to smell, and the bedroom starts to smell if you leave the garbage in the kitchen for like 2 weeks and you don't take it out. So, you know, this matter will permeate. You know, your colon's not made of stainless steel. It's made of tissue that's alive. And so the waste matter permeates the tissue. It can cause foul breath. Waste matter can permeate the tissue and cause really bad armpit odor, bad bodily odor, just like the oils seeping through your skin can stink. So, you know, once we start really taking out the trash, everything else in the body starts to function properly because there's not all these other inhibited bodily functions. And then I'll say quickly a couple other bullets: increased energy, better sleep, improved immunity. People who are dealing with, like, people who are athletes and singers and performers, dancers, etc. They'll experience a heightening and an elevation in their performance ability, their recovery time, stamina, flexibility and power, projection. If you're a singer, once we get gas pressure out of the body, the diaphragm sits differently in the chest. And then all of a sudden it's like, woo, your voice is just flying out of you. It's like effortless. And clarity of mind. And joint comfort is another big one. It goes on, but I suppose those are some of the big ones that I like to mention. You want to address Jean before we forget about her? She wanted to talk about the veggie caps.
Yes. Yeah, let's definitely.
You want to do that?
About that. Yeah. So I just wanted to say too, we kind of ran through it a little bit, but when we're talking about applying the oils and where we apply them and how we apply them, Joyce had mentioned that the bottoms of her clients' feet is a big place where she uses the oils topically. And the reason for that is the bottom of your foot is the most porous part of your body. So when we apply the oils there, they get absorbed into your bloodstream and circulated really quickly and start, nourishing your cells immediately. Also, so Jean was asking about using doTERRA, and I say specifically doTERRA because they're certified pure therapeutic grade. They have multiple third-party testings to ensure that there's only exactly the essential oil in the bottle that is there labeled for you. So we don't recommend...
For the supplement facts, right?
Yeah. So what you want to do is, if you have your doTERRA oils, you always want to check for the supplement facts on the bottle. And if they're there, then that is an oil that's ingestible. Joyce is showing you. And if they're not there, that means that you can't ingest them. It just means it's not recommended to be ingested for certain oils. Like the Balance Blend is something that you don't use internally, but that's fabulous to use topically or aromatically in your diffuser. And so if you were going to do something like using a drop of peppermint oil after a meal to support healthy digestion, you can just get veggie caps. We sell them through doTERRA, and you can also find them at a local health food store, but you can get a veggie cap, pull it apart, and you just put you can just start with 1 drop of the oil. That's what I usually do. See how that feels. Start with 1 drop, maybe 2, put it into the gel cap, close it up, and take it with some water.
Voila.
Voila. Did that answer your question, Jean?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, good. Well, yeah, I just wanted to put it out there. If anyone else has questions for Joyce, you can type it into the chat box that's down there in the toolbar, or you can unmute yourself via the toolbar on the left-hand side. You can unmute yourself and just ask Joyce a question. And while we wait and see, okay, let's see. We have a question. Another question from Amanda. How often should you get a colonic treatment?
How often do you want to get a colonic treatment? I love this question because there's really no right answer for everyone in terms of I shouldn't say, oh, you need to get a treatment. Everybody needs to get a treatment this often. So this is how I answer that question, and I answer it for each individual when they come in because that's how I work with people. And after the first treatment, I'll say to them, why don't you write down a couple, 3 bullet points in your calendar today, since this is when you got your appointment, 3 bullet points about how you're feeling once you leave the appointment.
Mm-hmm.
And about a week from now, revisit that little bullet point list and see if you feel the same way. And if you do, awesome. And if you don't, start thinking about when you might want to come back sooner than later. Mm-hmm. And I do that because I want people to start engaging with when they need to come back by what they think and feel versus what I just say. And I will sometimes tell people, look, you need to be back there in 2 days. Or, let's see you in a month. Let's see where things go. Or work the diet for 4 days and I'll see you in a week. Work the diet for 4 good days. You might need time to build up to that. Mm-hmm. It's different for everyone. So when you start to feel this is a great way to answer the question, by the way. When you start to feel like you're eating really well and you're not feeling the benefits of that, get your butt in for a treatment, because what that means is you have loosened up more stuff by eating well than your body has eliminated, and you should feel amazing. And if you don't, your management of your waste needs to be addressed immediately.
That's really helpful, and I think
good.
Yeah, but I think that's really an alignment with the personal empowerment too. Just asking people to monitor how they feel and know when they need to get their butt in there, literally. I think Laura, had you unmuted yourself? Did you want to ask a question, Laura?
there's another one in there too. You would see it there.
Yeah.
You want to read that one?
Yeah. So when people have emotional experiences that stay with them after a session, what do you typically suggest the person should do for that emotional response?
This is a great question. You know, this is where the oils become such a huge tool for me as a practitioner. I cannot tell you enough. I mean, you can sit there and tell someone to breathe, but wow, now I have the oils.
Mm-hmm.
And I can tell people like, oh, you know, what's the emotion? You know, and if they've already come to a class, to a, you know, Essential Oils 101 class, they probably already have the emotions book, right? And I can have them look in the back of the book and look at the emotion and then address it with an oil.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't have the book, then I'll look it up for them and I'll be like, this is the oil you want to use, or get your booty to my next, you know, emotions class or my 101 class, or you're going to tell them to come to your next class.
Mm-hmm.
Your audience mainly. And let's get you start using your oils for emotional relief, because that's what the oils are about.
Yeah.
It's all about rooting ourselves in that emotional place of balance. So yeah, and stuff's going to come up after sessions for a lot of people. That's the other thing. It's like they come back and they're like, I was dealing with all of this, you know, rage or whatever it was, or sadness, you know?
Yeah.
Process.
Stuff out, the things that were stuck down.
Yeah, and the oils don't prevent us from processing. They allow us to go deeper with the processing, but with help.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that about them as well. Well, I want to make sure that everybody knows where and how to find you, Joyce.
Thank you. So I have a website. Woohoo! Thank God for technology. It's just my name. It's pretty easy to remember. I mean, I have some hashtags. I always think my website should be one of my hashtags, like nuts for butts or your booty is my duty. But it's just joycerockwood.com, JoyceRockwood, just like it sounds. Oh, thanks, Claire. And so you can find me with all my social media through my website, you know, Facebook and Instagram and all that stuff. You can write me an email through there. And, you know, I'm on Periscope and all those other fun places too. I just, you know, find me. We'll connect.
Yes. And how, if they want to schedule, if they want to get in there,
their booty's in there.
Their booty's in there right away.
With passion and love and grace, I will treat you to the most amazing experience in a colon hydrotherapy session. You go to thespringsla.com and you can book an appointment right online, or you can call our concierge and book an appointment. They're super nice. And we're open 7 days a week, and I've got 2 lovely colon hydrotherapists that work with me that are, you know, just as lovely as pie, Christy and Bree. So if I'm not available, then you can book an appointment with them. You'll have just the most delightful experience and get the oils on you too. And we're bringing the oils to the Springs. I'm so excited to announce. So
that's wonderful.
We're going to be expanding our retail and bringing all the oils and related products, doTERRA-wise, to the Springs.
Yay. That is awesome to hear. Well, thank you so much, Joyce. I have learned so much and look forward to seeing me in your office soon.
Yay. It's been a pleasure and an honor to be a guest on your webcast, on your webinar. Thank you so much for inviting me and allowing me to meet your audience and share and, you know, just talk about my passion for the work and helping individuals and groups. So much fun.
Thank you. It was amazing. And also, I want to let everyone know that I did record this call, and I will be posting it on my Clearing with Claire Facebook page. I've got a new YouTube channel, so if you have anyone that you wish could have been here and could hear what Joyce had to say today, just find my Clearing with Claire page on Facebook, and you'll be able to get it there. Also, if you are interested in a 101 class to learn more about the doTERRA essential oils, how they're made, where they come from, how you can use them, what they do. This same time next week and every Wednesday, we'll be here on a free webinar. Next week is a 101 class with me, so just join in. And also, Joyce does teach live classes at her very beautiful community room downtown. So definitely get in and hear an emotions class or 101 and find out more.
Thank you, Claire.
Okay, thanks. Well, let's see. I'm going to do one last check in the chat box before we sign off. And everyone's saying thank you, and thank you, Joyce. And we will see you next time.
See you soon, everyone. Check in. Bye.
Bye.